Okay, let's, what is it? 10:08. Let's call this meeting to order. Guess the first thing is to establish a quorum, and with Mark, myself, Daniel, and Walter, we have 4 directors present. We also have Diane and Claire present as residents. So we have a quorum. The next thing I believe we need to do is approve the minutes from the last meeting.
That's correct.
Mr. Secretary, would you like to read them, or would somebody like to make a motion to waive the reading?
I make a motion to waive the reading.
Anyone want a second?
I'll second.
Okay, so we'll motion to, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So we're waiving the reading of the minutes and accepting them as written. First agenda or item would be old business. I'm not exactly sure what order you have them in, Mark. What's our first?
Number 1 is roofing quotes.
Okay, roofing quotes. Daniel, let's hear your input first.
Hey, I went through the old bids and I contacted Galway, Mr. Hall, and I looked at the other bids and I thought, looked at it and felt that his was the best, except there was some little issues that I needed him to address and add to it, such as I wanted a metal coping over the parapet walls, and I wanted the TPO bonded to the parapet wall and up and over, and also wanted spelled out the 20-year labor and material on line number 11. And then I did some research on his company online, looked at the reviews, and then I saw that, and also I looked at his bid that I liked, that it was a 1/4 of an inch to the foot tapered system. Then I looked at the new bid and also he had an additional, I think, 7-year labor, which in reality is not really that important since they're 20-year labor but that's okay anyway. But from GAF will be a 20-year labor and 20-year material, which I like. So we revised that. So then I looked at the buoyant roof bid, and then he came out with a Carlisle, which I'm very familiar with because I used to have a certification with Carlisle. Now I'm personally, our business is Genflex. So I'm very familiar with that, but it was only a 3-year labor, and I didn't like that there was only an 1/8 of an inch tapered system, which obviously the better we get off, the more water we get off the roof, the better it will be, obviously, the quicker, of course, especially in the climate area of Punta Gorda with all the heavy rain and so forth. So, and then I looked at some of the other bids from the past and pricing and so forth, and I compared them all, and I found out that put them all together, and I found that Galway Roofing would be the best candidate for this. The only thing that I think would be important when we select, my feeling, that Galway would be the best company to choose, because they were easy to communicate with. They did the changes and everything is exactly the way we want it now, because they have good slope, a 1/4 of an inch to the foot. They have the metal coping on the wall. The TPO is bonded to the wall. I spoke to him about the pitch pockets around the electrical areas when you have 2 electrical pieces on the unit, like around the ACs, when they come together where you can't flash. He's gonna put the pitch pan and portable sewer pockets. Then I talked to him about the guttering, how he'll adjust that, so we'll make that work well. I like the warranty. The only thing is important, obviously, when we select someone, is when will they start? That's important. I unfortunately neglected to do that. It's very tough to get them to write it in writing exactly, approximately, when they'll start and when they'll complete. But I think we can probably get a verbal on that. So my personal recommendation is, from looking at all the bids, that they would be the best.
Can I make a comment on that?
Sure.
I think Galloway are good because they've worked on our roof previously doing repairs.
Yep.
They know our situation. The other thing is, if and when we do get the roofers, can we please mention the incidents over Unit 52 regarding the cracked vent, etc., and the 2 leaks that I've had that have been serious leaks due to roofing errors?
Yes. And also they put down they spelled, what I also liked about their bid, one other item is they specified all the wood sizes and so forth, and if covering the if the fascia needs replaced, how much it would cost to cover it with aluminum. And they seem to dot all the I's and cross all the T's. I'm sure there's something I missed, but they seem to be together on this. I really think that they would be my
Walter,
best.
I know, I'm sorry, Daniel. So, I mean, I'm looking at their bid right now, and last week you mentioned how important the installation was, and they're only using the 1/4-inch slope board insulation. Again,
That's a
I
tapered
tell you-
system.
I understand it's a tapered system, but I don't see any additional insulation. And again, last week you kind of made a big deal out of that, whereas in comparison, WSV's has the 1.5-inch insulation board, then the slope board.
And their pricing is what is their price? What do you have?
It's
52?
yeah, it's 12,000 or more or less. 10,000, sorry. No, 15,000
15,000.
less. I mean, I'll be honest, my two, I've narrowed it down to Galloway because of our past experiences with them and them with our roof. I also do like their proposal. I also like WSV's price, and the fact that, again, last week you made a big deal about the insulation, and they're the only ones using the 1.5-inch 4x8 insulation board that was actually spec'd by GAF in the specs that we gave out.
Are they also using the tapered system?
They're also using the tapered system. And it actually says install 1/2-inch slope tapered. So there's even more slope on it.
But I guess I was won over by, I mean, basically in that climate, and that the 1/4-inch should be sufficient. And also the parapet wall details, good communication. Yes, there is that difference in insulation, and there is a little bit difference in price. So those would be the two ones that would be
Again, I mean,
in the running. I mean, it's kind of a toss-up. I mean,
well, at this point, keep in mind also last week, or maybe you missed that part of the meeting because you did leave a little bit early. We did vote and agree on hiring WSV for the erosion repairs and also the stucco repairs. So they're already going to be on site as a contractor, which gives them a slight edge
Do we still
also.
have the 20-year labor, 20-year material in there?
There, yep, 2020, it's clearly on there.
Can you bring that up on the screen? Someone like Mark,
Sure.
can you bring it up so I can look at
One
it?
moment, please.
Sure, thank you. So we have two in the running and we can decide. You are so good with this technology.
Okay.
Is that it, or is the other one above it? Which one is it? That
This
one?
is the latest one. Let me zoom this out a bit. Let me verify that. That says the
That's not
date
it.
that is April 22.
That's not enough details on that one. I can't see the actual details.
Well, there's the WSG stucco quote. April 22. Let's look at this one
Okay.
and let's zoom that up here.
I don't see much detail on this at all.
This
don't
was
see
the diamond pledge that we had talked about.
Right,
Right.
let's
I
see the proposal where the 1.5 inch insulation, a 1/2 inch slope, as Rob said, and all that good stuff here. So we can really compare it apples to apples here.
had it here a second ago in front of me.
Then I can,
That's
okay,
not
can
it.
you enlarge that? Thank you. Install 1.5 inches. I think there was supposed to be 16 screws, but that's a small.
There's got to be another one because he sent one with the 20-year.
That was the one I brought up.
That was
Yeah.
probably the,
20.
well, let's look at this here. 1 second, please.
Yeah.
All existing curbs. I don't see any metal coping on here. That's an important detail. Remove and replace gutters and downspouts.
Yeah,
I mean-
it's the only one that included that.
Is he talking about remove and replace with new or replace with existing?
We'll have to clarify that.
Yeah, because I would think I don't think he's doing that. Remove and replace.
Hold on, I'll get him on the phone right now and he
I
can
think the
join
words
us.
existing needs to be put back because I don't think he's going to put new ones in for that.
Hold on, here we go.
I agree. Daniel and Rob can speak to this, but he has been in almost constant contact with WSV.
I'm not saying they're not a good candidate. I think that the parapet wall, the membrane up the wall, and then
I'm going to have him on the phone here in a second.
sorry.
Josh, good morning. You're on speakerphone. We're having our board meeting. And we got a couple questions on your proposal. The one question is the gutters you have on there, remove and replace. Josh, can you hear me? Okay, so on your proposal, you had remove and replace gutters downspouts. Okay, Are you replacing them with new, or you're removing and putting the same ones back up?
Remove and replace would be taking off the existing and replacing them with new. If it's detached or reset, that would be taking down the existing and putting the existing back up.
Okay,
Remove and replace is going to be brand new.
so on your original proposal that you sent me that had just the 5-year workmanship, 35-year manufacturer warranty, we had you change that to the 2020. When you changed it to the 2020, we went to a very itemized list to a very vague work description. It no longer says 1.5 inch insulation board. It no longer refers to the slope. Can we get these details put back in?
We're going to have to, for sure. Can you send me over the new list that you have?
Well, it's the old list. We like the old list. If you went back one proposal,
I see what you're saying. Now, the only thing is, what about our GAF rep? Is he going to, will it still do the 2020 with the original quote that I had? Would that still work?
well, I'm pretty sure in the specs they wanted the insulation board, did they not?
I would imagine so. The ISO is the best way to go. You have to have.
I mean, you didn't adjust the price between the two different roofs. We just want to make sure we're getting the insulation and everything that we were.
Metal coping too,
Okay, I got you.
metal coping, Rob.
And it doesn't refer to metal coping. We want that wordage in there. Josh, why don't you? You know what I need? Let me get back to my meeting and I'll talk to you Monday morning.
Perfect. Give me a shout Monday.
Certainly. Thank you.
Rob, it looks like he changed it and he left all that out. And then left the pricing and maybe realized that the 20-year material, actually the warranty doesn't cost that much. It's probably $7 a foot minimum.
Well, I mean, what he
$1,000.
wrote in here was that the installation methods and materials will be used that are used will comply with the GAF system certifications. And they give numbers, which refers back to the specs that we gave out from GAF. So this quote directly relates to those specs. We have those specs there. Is that what you're looking for, Mark?
Well, let me bring that one back up, that WSV, so that we can, yeah, here's the WSV commercial roof certificate. Is that what we're looking for?
No.
Okay, the gas specs.
I mean, if he's willing to do all that plus the metal coping and the insulation, everything, and give us the 20-year labor, 20-year material, plus the 1.5 inch insulation, plus the taper for that price, that's a no-brainer. That's a go with him. But if he's not, now he's deleting that, we have to make sure, because he changed his proposal.
Daniel,
it won't work. See,
Daniel, with your permission,
yes,
I
sir.
will have you or Josh get in touch with you directly so that you can discuss with him as you discuss with Galloway and make sure that everything's in order with him. And if you give him your blessings, then I think we have a roofer. I think it might be easier for you to talk to him directly, no?
Talk to this individual.
Josh from WSV.
Yes, you get me his phone number. Yeah, I'm Mark can email it to me.
I'll get it to you. And
Oh, Rob, thank you. You can email it to me or
and
text
you
it to me, either way.
just make sure that it's apples to apples. But I mean, he is specifically referring to the specifications that we gave out from GAF.
Right. I mean, if it's in writing, I'm good, but if it's not, and he changed it, then it's not working. But
Is this the specs now that you have up here?
I see him. Yes, sir.
So this is what they're supposed to be bidding.
Now, as far as the,
This actually says 1/8" slope.
right.
Yes.
That's in reality, it should be a 1/4 of an inch, because in the roofing field, a 1/4 of an inch is really required. So that's kind of why I like that other one, but I mean, you said he has a 1/2 inch.
He did in that original, but then the corrected version or the
Doesn't have any of it.
Well, no, what it does is it refers to these specs that we're showing now.
Yeah, well, all he has to do, I don't really like that being in a contractor. What he needs to do is take this and just add the additional details. Like you just said, the metal
Well-
coping, you didn't know about that stuff, but, and also the warranty. Because now it feels like when I see the new proposal, you know, are we getting that or not? I don't think that's a good way to do business.
I'm not really following what you're saying. Are we getting what or not?
No,
His
when you have
latest,
the new proposal,
the
let's
latest
look at the new
proposal-
proposal.
the latest
look at this.
proposal says 20 years. It's right down on the bottom.
This is the latest.
Right, but it leaves out, let's see here, installation being used with, it doesn't have the insulation and all that thickness,
But
none of the
It
above.
does because it refers to the specs that has the insulation.
Okay, let's look at the specs, because it
We just
doesn't
had
have
them
that
up.
doesn't have that thickness, does it? Let's look, see, I don't think it has that thickness that he just mentioned in his bid.
It doesn't. He changed the bid. He changed the bid to fit the specs that we put out.
Okay, well, we don't want that.
Well,
trying to
that
do
should have been
apples to apples
discussed
here.
before we put them out.
Yeah, I understand. We're trying to do apples to apples, and that's not working with that.
Well, everybody was supposed to bid this, what you're looking at right now. That's what we gave them and said, this is what we want, bid this. And that's what he did with his latest bid, was bid that, and he refers to those specs. So although it
Yes.
doesn't exactly say the insulation, it says that the installation method will comply with these specifications.
I understand. So if you go with that spec, it doesn't have what he has the same thickness as before. So we're actually in for $52,000. We're getting
So-
less for the money than we
But
did
the
before.
question then would be, is there any reason that GAF would not give us the
But-
Everguard pledge if we didn't follow these specs?
No, okay, I'll tell you. No, they will give, all the manufacturers will. They do not care about the thickness of the insulation. They care more about, you know, that the water's draining off the roof, if they're really requiring a tapered system on this particular roof, the type of membrane, how it's applied, you know, and then they'll probe all the seams, they'll come up with inspect everything, the water integrity, that the membrane is installed properly. It's the membrane. They're not guaranteeing the insulation anyway. That's an added
Well, they
thing
are,
we're asking.
they are warranting the installation for
No,
20
the
years.
insulation, insulation, not the installation. Insulation, they don't care whether it's 1 inch or 10 inches. Nobody cares. None of them do. It's
Then
all
if-
about the installation and the product.
Then he's still the lower bid. So even if we ask him to increase the thickness of the insulation,
Yes,
and GAF has no problem with that,
no, of course not.
I think he's still gonna end up being the low bid. I don't see us
Yes,
going up
yes.
15,000.
Now the question is this company from the experience that we've seen, and I haven't researched them enough, unfortunately, is he qualified to do the work? Because it's not always about price. It's about the quality of the company, obviously. And you know that being in business. So
Yes.
is that?
And I
Yeah.
also do know through conversation, although I don't know the exact details, but their employees would not be on the roof. They would actually subcontract this portion of the work out because of the commercial grade of it.
That I don't like.
Who are we speaking with?
This is
WSV?
WSV.
Where Galway,
Would be
Well-
the people on the roof.
pardon me, yes. So that's a big difference. And if they're not a roofing specified contractor, are they?
No, they are. They are
Okay.
a roofing contractor, but he said for the flat commercial roofs, they bring in somebody that does more of them than they do.
Well, that doesn't make me feel comfortable.
It doesn't make me feel overly comfortable.
But the price is, how big of a difference are we talking? 10,
15,000.
If I could just have everyone look at you should see a document on the folder, called Contract Roofing Quotes and Latest Communications on the bottom. Just as a reminder, David P. said, we have worked with Galloway and WSV. Timothy Rink mentioned, and he is our GAF rep. He mentioned Galloway. Kyandel, Sutter, and Certified.
I'm
Throwing that piece of information out there.
I believe that those are their WSV and Galway. They're between those two, obviously. So it's a question of like figuring out which one is the best. Obviously, WSV is less money, but are they the best contractor for this job? Because, you know, down the road, 10, 20, 15 years from now, $15,000, yes, it's a lot of money, or 17, whatever it is, won't mean much. If it have issues, obviously there'll be a warranty, and if they do go out of business, they don't service, then they will hire someone else.
Well, that's why we're getting the Everguard Diamond pledge.
Absolutely. So
my concern with Galloway is the lack of them mentioning the insulation, even though they're talking tapered board, there's no additional insulation.
well, maybe we can go back to them and see if they'll throw that in.
And my concerns with WSV would be, well, who are you actually putting on the roof, and can we have their qualifications?
I agree.
Well, I agree with that. And if we can get Galway to throw the insulation, which I don't think they'll do, because that's a lot of money. We're talking, I think, 36 squares, roughly, 3,600 square feet. So even you're looking at another probably $5,000 at least. But if they'd be willing to throw that in, I don't know. I can talk to them. I'm not sure. I can talk to Josh on Monday also. But I think we need to get close to, and I think we are close to choosing a roofing contractor, because rainy season is happening. We have roofs leaking over there and need to move forward.
Absolutely.
So what do you think, Rob?
I think I want to know who WSV is going to put on the roof, and I'd like to know their qualifications. I don't feel comfortable accepting them as the roofer without knowing that.
Can you call him back?
I hate. Well, we still have to research, even if I call him back right now and ask him.
What if I can get Galway to bring the price down a little bit?
You know, I don't want it. Well, I guess it should go down to price.
I'm not sure it should go down to price. I think it should go down to who can get it started sooner.
Sooner
Well,
and the
there's
quality
that
of the
also.
company. I mean, yes, it's more than 10% difference, which is huge. I believe it is more. Right?
Yeah, the more I look at the WSV price, the more I'm concerned that they're not experts at this. They may have mispriced it because they're actually pricing for someone else. They need someone else to put the roof on and build WSV, and then they need to build in their own profit margin.
And are they GAF approved? We don't even know that 100%. Do we get a certification from GAF that they
Yes,
can install a commercial roof or not?
yes.
I mean, I'd have to say the answer to that is yes. They say they're giving us the 20-year Everguard Diamond Pledge.
No, do we need to see that they are approved by GAF before they
It
start?
says right here, WSV Group 49, Josh sent a pic of the GAS certificate. Now, whether that is WSV's.
Yeah, I mean,
GAS
does that
certificate,
carry over if they use a subcontractor?
That could be the issue, and a lot of them won't let that happen. They won't, if a subcontractor for example, Genflex Corporation is a manufacturer of roofing products. And they don't allow that. So if they use a sub, we might not be able to get a warranty.
Praxis Industries is, okay, so this tells me that Praxis, who are they? I believe that is who they're going to use. Because this is the GAF certificate that they sent us from WSV.
I'm trying to text with him now.
That doesn't show, let me see, what is it? Customer received the best choice in roof. This is not from GAF Master. I see that it is at the top.
So I think what we found here is their subcontractor.
Yes, I believe so.
North Miami. They're pretty big.
Whatever you want to do on this, I believe you have two candidates, obviously. My feeling would be Galway, if we can get them to drop the price, but that might be difficult. Using a sub with this, I don't feel as comfortable. I know there's warranty they have to provide. So,
Is Galloway a local business?
yes, they're in Inglewood.
Boy, I like that as compared to having Praxis from Miami.
Yeah, I like Galloway. You know, I just like 15,000 more.
Well, let me work on them.
Well,
You
the
know.
question we have before us is, do we table for another week or do we award and move forward?
Walter, what are your thoughts? You have any?
I think we should probably have Daniel reach out to Josh, see what the deal is. And then, have Galloway, increase or decrease the insulation so that it's the same, right? And, maybe have a meeting, we could call something during the middle of the week or something, but really close, but I think we're spinning our wheels here. As you know, my opinion, I've been around for a little bit, doing all different types of things. The warranty is only worth the paper it's written on. And 20 years from now, Galloway may not even be there. GAF may not even be there. They most likely they will, but you know what I'm getting at. Time is of the essence, and this is part of the problem that's been, relayed to me. You don't want to jump into something foolishly, but you can't take forever to make these decisions. That's my opinion.
This is true. And, I'm very hesitant to table it again for another week.
Yeah.
Does anybody here have any problems with getting together maybe Wednesday evening or?
It's okay with me.
Yeah, I think so. And then, and unfortunately, I hate to put the burden on you, Daniel, but you jumped in to be you're in the business. So, your opinion is highly respected, but, we need to make a decision.
The problem with this is, yes, the GAF had the specs, but they're not following it.
They following it. They specified the cut sheet basically.
Exactly.
Be handed up. That happens all the time. They don't, in some of the contracts, they just refer to the exact spec.
Right. Now, if I wrote the spec and put down the exact insulation with the metal coping, everything, like I said before, GAF is only taking care of the membrane and the installation. And that's what because it's their product. But then, you throw in, this one is putting more insulation, the other one's not. This one has the metal coping, which of course, the GAF doesn't guarantee anyway, but we want that obviously, and that one doesn't, then it complicates things. But these are important items that will, for the water integrity of this building, isn't very important. But I'll reach out to them and get clarification this week. And I think Wednesday would be good, and let's make a decision.
Mark, you have any problem with Wednesday?
I'll make a motion that this be tabled until Wednesday and that Daniel
What time?
will contact those two people.
And what time would that be?
We can do 6, we can do 7, we can do 8, we can do midnight.
Let's say 6 p.m.
6 p.m. And Rob, you send me that Josh's phone number, will you please?
I most
Text it to
certainly
me.
will.
Text it to me. Thank you. Let's make a decision Wednesday night to move forward
Okay.
with one or the other, WSV or Galloway, okay?
I think that we really, yes, it's between those two, and Wednesday we will make that decision by hell or high water.
I will give you my opinion and then you decide, okay? I have the knowledge in the field, but I don't want to be the determining factor, okay?
Nope, we're not going to let you be the only one making the decision.
But I think Galloway, in my thinking, if it was, price was there, professionalism and everything else, that's why I voted that way. And it's not always price.
I do not have a hang up with Galloway. I just don't really have a hang up with WSV either. And if I don't have a hang up with either, I'm going to go with price. But
yes, sir.
Let's see how we make out.
Okay, I think we're closer anyway.
What other business do we have? I know
Who seconded that motion, please?
Oh, I'll second it.
Daniel.
Yes, I will second that motion.
And all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Aye, yep.
Other old business.
Do we have any information on when the other work will begin? I know we were waiting for just in the last couple of days. I've seen communication to Palmer to make sure that WSV has all of their ducks in a row vis-a-vis insurance, etc.
All the ducks are in a row, I'm told, and it's just a matter of signing the paperwork, which Palmer Management has the authorization on, and it's going to scheduling. I have not gotten an actual date, but I will by Wednesday have an answer on that.
Okay. Also under old business, Claire, thank you for the photos. Have we?
I did
reached
send
out-
an email. I sent an email out to Gene at US Lawns just to look at the marked trees, and have not gotten a response as yet.
Can you also send an email to Palmer and see if he has somebody that he can recommend? Because we're
For the
gonna
tree
need
permit?
three, we're gonna need 3 quotes, or at least attempt.
Yeah,
Those are the rules.
okay. Uh, okay, any other old business? All right, anybody want to bring any new business to the board?
Not at this time.
Okay, with no new business and no old business or old business covered.
I do have something. It sounds really silly, but I feel like it kind of is starting to set a precedence. Is in our building, the very end unit next to Joe's, they have a commercial vehicle, a motorcycle, and 2 cars. So they are taking 4 spots. Now, this is not an issue because there's nobody here, so it sounds silly. However, if everybody starts thinking they can take multiple spots, that could be a problem in the future. So I think maybe the board should reach out and let them know that technically 2 spots are what we are allowed here at Charlotte Bay Villa.
Sounds logical.
You say there's commercial vehicles, cars.
They have a commercial vehicle, a motorcycle, and 2 cars.
That sounds
And again,
logical.
not an issue
Address them.
technically right now because there aren't a lot of people here, but this is setting a precedent that everybody might be able to think that they can just take as many spots as they'd like, and that could become a problem down the road.
Yeah. Okay. We will have management send a letter.
Do we want that letter to come from Palmer or me?
I would say from Palmer. I don't think the board. I don't know. That's up to you. If you want to send the letter, that's fine. But I think that, management is supposed to be managing the property and they can reiterate the rules and bylaws. I don't know that the board needs to be the police.
Well, I was the police last week and I don't know if it made a difference or not. Did everyone get my email regarding the two documents with the
With the rental,
rental?
yes.
Okay.
Yes,
Yes.
So you're saying that should have probably come from Palmer?
Yeah, I mean, in my opinion, I think so.
Okay.
I didn't really even think about it. I'm never going to stop anybody from doing something, that they feel needs to get out there. And we did talk about it and it needed to get out there. But I think the management should be managing and we should just be directing.
Okay. I'm learning. Absolutely. I'll count on you to inform Palmer and move
I
forward.
have my notes.
Excellent.
Okay. Anybody else have anything they want to bring before the board?
So basically, you all will meet Wednesday, and then when can we expect an answer?
Wednesday.
As far as
The
An
roof.
we're expecting to make an answer or we're planning on selecting a contractor
Wednesday.
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 Noted, we planned on doing that last Saturday and this Saturday and failed both times. However, as already said, I think we are getting a lot closer. We've got it narrowed down to 2. We have a couple questions with each. One of the big questions is, when can you start? If one says they can't start for 3 months and one says they can start in 3 weeks, that might make a difference in our decision.
That will make a difference in our decision.
Yeah, I mean, we have hopefully 2 very qualified roofers. And we just have to make the decision, but there's still too many questions. So Claire, to answer your question, hopefully Wednesday we are going to know A, when the work is going to start, and B, who is going to be doing it. We just don't have that information today to make a decision.
Okay. That's all I have.
All right, with that, do I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second?
Second.
Well, all in favor, I guess. So thank you all and see you 6 p.m. Wednesday evening.
Yes, sir.
Okie dokie.
Thank you to all.
Thank you.
Thank you.